What's going on, guys? Another knife review here for you. This is of the Schoop Knives SF2 Hyperion. Julius Schoop is a custom maker out of Kentucky. Julius is a PhD student right now at University of Kentucky, and he makes knives on the side. And he's been doing this since he's been pretty young, and just getting into all that stuff and accumulating a lot of machinery and all that kind of stuff. So you can read his biography on his webpage and all that kind of stuff. But pretty cool stuff, because he's doing his PhD work in basically, like, I don't even know what it is, but basically it's kind of has to do with some metallurgy. How cryogenically treating blades and all that kind of stuff affects certain blade steel or certain steels and metals and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool, and I've been shooting emails back and forth with Julius, and not only is he knowledgeable, but this guy is just a class act. He's just a really great guy. And so I'm really glad that I had a chance to meet him over email, over the forums, and to acquire one of his knives, because this is, in my opinion, is an awesome knife. It's definitely one of my favorite knives in my collection. I think I often say that when I get a new knife in. But I haven't been able to put this knife down. Usually I'll, grab other knives and all that kind of stuff, but I've been finding myself, and since I've had this, just grabbing for this one and being completely satisfied, in terms of what this knife is capable of doing, and how it feels and how it flips and all that kind of stuff. It is a flipper, just this tiny little flipper, but it works great. Really quick here, I'll do a size comparison between the large Sebenza, and then here's my Stephen Kelly Collision. Here's the Strider S&G, and then the Hinder XM18 3.5 inch. So the Schoop is, the SF2 is slightly smaller. It's a 3.35 inch blade. This one is S35 VN, heat treated at 58 HRC. It's titanium frame lock, titanium pocket clip, titanium lock stop here, if you will, or overextension bar right here. On the other side is carbon fiber, with a nice little brass pivot ring here, and then heat-treated pivots, screws, and all that kind of stuff. Extremely light knife at like 3.5 ounces, something around there, and just an overall joy to carry. Super comfortable knife. So spec-wise, what else? Anodized titanium. Inside is GTC thrust bearings, so caged ball bearings inside the pivot here. So that does definitely help out with the comfort of this knife. Flow-through design with these anodized titanium standoffs right here. Okay. You got nice jimping up top, just very smooth, and I'll talk about some of the craftsmanship and just overall design and function of this Schoop knife. But basically this knife, as an attestation to Julius's attention to detail and all that kind of stuff. When you look at this knife, everything everything is filed down, is just smoothed out. All the bevel work, and all the countersinking in the pocket clip. A lot of knives that I've seen or received, it's a lot of like rough around the edges kind of things, and this knife is I don't know, I mean, to me, honestly, like borderline perfection in terms of again, like countersinking here, even this little hole, this machining hole. I think these holes are here to hold the scale in place. So I don't know if that's an eyesore or not, but to me it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of cool. Kind of reminds me of the Sebenza, how it has the machining holes and all that kind of stuff, and so all that kind of stuff. You know, even this thumb deployment hole right here. You know, this can be used either to flip very easily, or you can even use it to deploy with your thumb, you know, right here. This also flips out pretty easily. Again, the thrust bearings help out very well. But even if you look at, you know, right here on the scales, you know, this you would think is, you know, a place for thumb studs or stop pins to, you know, sit here to stop it. But, you know, that really is just to mimic the curve of this hole on the blade, which I think is, you know, that's kind of a cool attention to detail. You know, if it extended all the way out here, then it would kind of cover up part of the hole, which, you know, maybe doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but you know, when you're talking about overall craftsmanship, fit and finish, and all that kind of stuff, you know, that attention to detail is pretty awesome. Jimping and all that kind of stuff on the blade and the handle lines up perfectly, and you know, even the jimping, you know, if you can see here, it's kind of a macro shot, and you can kind of see how it's even filed down a little bit along the edges, so that your finger, your hand, or your thumb, you know, sinks in, and it's a very, very firm grip, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't like cut into your thumb. So it's very grippy. It's very, very functional. And so I'm really just loving the feel of this knife. The lanyard hole is kind of a little bit goofy in the sense, you know, I kind of feel like if I had some 550 cord in there, then definitely the knife edge is going to cut into that lanyard. So yeah, so that, you know, that's a little knock on it, but not like I would ever carry a lanyard on this knife or anything like that. Even the pocket clip, I don't know if you're going to be able to see inside there, but yeah, you can see those ridges in the pocket clip. I don't think that's just machining. I think that's deliberate in there, so it kind of gives you a little bit more traction on your pocket, and then the pocket clip, I think, just rides perfectly. And in terms of flex and everything on this knife, on this pocket clip, you know, it's strong, but it's very forgiving, and it just slides in and out of the pocket very easily, and it's not going anywhere when it's in there. The one, really the only knock that I have on this knife, and it's not really a knife because I'm starting to get used to it, but when you look at the carbon fiber here, you got these nice curves, very, very ergonomic, but this titanium bar, you got the first two curves and then a straight edge with the jimping on here, and I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure why, you know, if I was, you know, designing this knife, and thank God I'm not, but the only one thing I would kind of add is just a slight little curve, not so much that it's flush with the carbon fiber, but just a little bit, so that so it'd just be a little bit ergonomic, a little bit more ergonomic in my hand. And the reason I say that is because, you know, holding this hard sometimes, this titanium frame lock bar sits in my knuckle, and sometimes it's a little bit of a hot spot on my hands. So it's not too bad, but I think, you know, if the carbon fiber was flat and, you know, it was all the same, then I think that would be good too. Or if, you know, you get a little bit of a curve on the titanium right here, I think that would have helped ever so slightly with the ergonomics on this knife. You know, overall look, it doesn't matter either way. I think it looks stunning either way. Lock stop, obviously, with this titanium overextension triangle or whatever. I think it's either a love it or hate it kind of thing. I love it. I think it adds character to the knife. You know, this gray bee-blasted titanium against this kind of just beautifully anodized titanium side, kind of like a bluish, purplish, just kind of reflects in all different colors depending on the lighting. I think contrasts really great on this knife. Julius offers, right now on his website, he's got 3 different knives. One is the fixed blade, and then you got the SF1 and then the SF2. The SF1 is a slightly larger blade, and then the SF2, 3.35 inch, like I said, blades, and then it's got, you either have a Tonto version, which I think has a straight edge, or you have the spear point version, which is this one, which you get kind of a recurve, like a tiny little recurve right here into the spear point edge or tip. I think very functional, and you know, I think recurves have definitely grown on me. I think I'd still prefer just a regular straight or curve with belly blade, but you know, I think, you know, you do get a little bit of belly right here from where the recurve stops, and so you do have this kind of cutting surface, and then if you need to dig in, you know, on the recurve, then you could do that as well. Blade stock is about, I think, 0.15 or 1/6 around there, so pretty good blade stock on this knife as well. You know, overall, you know, just this knife, again, it feels amazing in hand. I heard about this knife through Orimoto. You know, you probably saw this knife, you know, with the Damascus and with a slightly different finish on his pocket clip. I don't think it had holes on it and all that kind of stuff, but same carbon fiber and all that kind of stuff. And his was the Tonto Damascus version, Chad Nichols Damascus. But you know, he really turned me on to this blade, and I'm so glad to have it in my collection. This is definitely, I don't think I'll ever get rid of this knife. One, because of how much I like this knife, but you know, really two, you know, how much I really like Julius. Julius is just a great guy, good brother in Christ. And so I just enjoyed talking with him and having a good conversation with him. And so this knife is, you know, just an incredible addition to the collection. All right, so that is the Julius Schoop SF2 Hyperion. I could not recommend this knife more. If you guys are into collecting, you know, if you're into a very getting a very functional knife, a very aesthetically, to me, aesthetically pleasing knife, then, you know, look up Julius. I think according to Orimoto and according to his schedule, he maybe does like 2 knives a month or something. So if you can get on his books, it's definitely worth, you know, just talking with him and seeing what he can do for you. Both the SF1 and the SF2 are both great options. You know, there's just a size, you know, the carbon fiber, just super thick stock of carbon fiber, just really awesome piece. Alright guys, so that is my Julius Schoop SF2 Hyperion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys on the next vid. Bye. What's going on, guys? One thing I forgot to mention is the case that Julius ships his knife in. You know, Kirby Lambert ships his knife in these, you know, nice little nylon pouches with, you know, his little faux leather patch and all that kind of stuff. You know, Cheap Kershaw ships their thing in a little box. You know, you guys know Spyderco boxes and all that kind of stuff. Julius Schoop shipped his knife in a freaking Pelican box. That's awesome. This Pelican 1020 plastic box, you know, with padding and all that kind of stuff. Just an awesome touch to a custom knife. Alright guys, that's it. You guys take care. Bye.